Hello everybody and welcome to the next Community Hobby Challenge video. So the Budget of Sigmar is winding down. March is the final month for everybody to submit their Budget of Sigmar armies. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link down to the most recent review, which has got all of the explanations for how you make your submission and all of that. That will be down below in the description. But now we turn to the next hobby challenge. After we just spent 6 months all building a giant army, I thought perhaps it was time for a bit of a palate cleanser. So we're going for something a little smaller. We're going for what I'm calling the Spring Skirmish Challenge. And we're going to, as always, paint all the things. So, the Spring Skirmish Challenge. It's hard to say. Spring Skirmish Challenge. I should have said it to myself a few more times out loud. Too late. We're going with it. All right, here we go. So, let's get into it. All right, what is the Spring Skirmish Challenge? It is the hobby challenge for the next 2 months. I'll have the dates on the next page, but it's going to run for 2 months. And in that 2 months, we're going to do the following. If you're interested in participating, hey, then we would love to have you along. We're going to seek to build a skirmish force for a skirmish game. Which skirmish game? I don't care. Whatever you like. We'll come to that in a moment. But what do you got to build? All right, 10 figures minimum, 20 figures maximum. We're not going for just pile on all the figures you can get like we did with the Budget of Sigmar. Between 10 and 20 figures plus one commander figure. Somebody has to be special in your crew or warband or force or whatever it happens to be called in your game of choice. Roving band of lunatics, whatever you like. One special commander figure that you should lavish some love and care and attention to make them really stand out as a commander. This is a great chance for us to paint one figure to a very high standard, to just take some time and luxuriate on one figure, which we don't often get to do when you're trying to paint whole armies. But with a small skirmish game, you can. We're also going to do one piece of terrain. I don't care what it is. It can be something you store-bought. It can be something you kit build at home out of, MDF or whatever. But all skirmish games, of course, they love to have terrain on the table. And so you don't want to show up to the table with just your force. So we're going to all do 10 to 20 figures, one commander, and one piece of terrain. Okay? So that's going to be the total of what you've got 2 months to do. Let's continue. As you can see, I got some games on the side that might be potential candidates. Little Malifaux, Mordheim, Infinity, Frostgrave. But of course it doesn't stop there. It could be a small, Age of Sigmar skirmish force. It could be anything else out there that I'm not thinking of, and I apologize. I'm not intentionally cutting any games out. These were just the first ones that came to the top of my mind. All right, so let's get into the details. You have $100 maximum to spend on your force and your terrain. $100 for your 10 to 20 figs, one commander, and one piece of terrain. The challenge runs April 1st to May 31st, so 2 full months to complete the challenge. Post some progress pics, of course, as you go under the Hobby Challenge tab in the PMP Google Plus community. Basically, that tab is currently named Budget of Sigmar. Once the Budget of Sigmar comes to an end at the end of March, I will rename the tab, and it's going to become the new Hobby Challenge tab, because I hope to keep running these over and over again. The Budget of Sigmar was super fun. We had a lot of participation, and I say we just make this a thing, and we'll spread it out and do lots of different challenges. One thing we're going to do here is it has to be a playable force in your game of choice. Now, I don't mean by any tournament standard. I don't mean it has to be good. I just mean it has to be a legitimate thing you could put on the table in a game. Like, that it fits the rules. Okay? So, for example, if we talk about Malifaux, you'd have to be sort of within one faction, or like one faction plus the mercenaries or whatnot. You couldn't just like randomly grab 10 different masters and paint them, right? Because that's not a legitimate force. Okay, but it doesn't have to be at the same time. If you're talking Malifaux, it doesn't have to be like a 50 soulstone force or something like that. No. There's nothing like that. It just has to be playable in some capacity in the game. And of course, as I said before, but I'll say it again because it's very important, any skirmish game is acceptable. I don't care what skirmish game it is, your skirmish game of choice. What's important is just that you paint the figs and you get into it. That we take some gray plastic and we erase it. And we fill the world with a few more painted models. Okay? So this one's quick, both the challenge and the video. But I want this to be fast so people can watch it, get the rules, and get hobbying. So remember, 10 to 20 figs, 1 commander, 1 piece of terrain. $100 maximum, runs for 2 months, April 1st to May 31st. Post your progress in the PMP Google Plus community. And if you're not already a member, the link will be down below. You can request to join. We'd love to have you if you like hobbying and want to participate. And any skirmish game is acceptable. All right, looking forward to everybody's participation, of course. And if you're not interested, that's cool. We're going to do another challenge after this and hopefully many more. So as always, if it's not your bag, it's okay to give it a skip. Don't worry, we'll come back to another one that might be more in your wheelhouse. But for all of those of you who are interested, can't wait to have you along. Can't wait to see what the forces everybody puts together. And as always, we'll see you next time.